Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and how many of you remember the name Glitchworks? Now, if you do, that's good, because Glitchworks actually recently got into the modding game by way of truck tweaks, and they were really interestingly done, and they always had, you know, slightly different features than all the other truck tweaks did, and you could tell that he had spent a lot of time working on the finer details of those truck tweaks. Now, especially now that since I have elected to hit my microphone, now he has decided to break into the world of original trucks, and this is his first sort of go into the world of original trucks. This is the Glitchworks generic mud truck. The only thing is, it is anything but generic, as you'll be able to tell, because there's a lot of really cool things you can do with this thing, and one of the other coolest things about it is that, I mean, you couldn't get more console friendly than this. You could not get more console friendly than this. A logo? Where? They've cut off all the body panels that would even remotely begin to have a logo on them. I mean, literally, it looks like you took a Sawzall to that body. But you know what? We're doing it for the sake of tire clearance, so it's all good. Now, I'm sure as you're able to tell, the engine is in the middle, and it's actually got a gigantic root-style supercharger on top of it, as well as flipped headers. So there's a lot going on here in the engine department. There's a lot going on here in the axles department, the power department. But you know what? Instead of talking about it, let's take it in the garage, build it up, and then take it out and see what it can do. But first, we gotta fire it up. It sounds so good. Just take a second to listen to that. That idle is crazy. And every time you go to shift it from a forward gear to a reverse gear, the whole chassis shakes. So it's like it's got this crazy built transmission in it or something, which you would probably need in something like this. Well, not probably. You would absolutely need it in something like this. Now, the engines and transmissions don't really have their own defined names yet, but I'm sure that's something he will get to later on down the road. And you have one engine. You have 3 different gearboxes. You have default, you have highway, and you have scout, or sorry, off-road. They're all scout transmissions, but we're going to go with the highway right off the bat, because really in this thing, you only need automatic and high and 1 low range, unless you're going to be doing some very specific stuff with it, like crawling, which in that case, I would recommend using the off-road transmission. But even when you use the highway transmission, as you'll be able to see, high isn't really all that crazy, so in that regard, it would probably be better to actually go with the off-road transmission. Now that I've gotten through my transmission indecisiveness, we can move on to the suspension, of which there is one option. Then, tires-wise, you have Swampers. You also have kind of a BFG mud terrain looking tire, and then you also have a mud truck tire, which this thing is wild looking, absolutely wild looking. We're going to actually go with those right off the bat, because those are some of the most interesting tires that I've seen on any vehicle thus far. Now, wheels-wise, at least for this particular tire, you get Steelies, mag slots, and Weld Racing beadlocks, which the Weld Racing beadlocks look amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then that's it in terms of customization. That's literally it. You don't really get much in terms of customization here, but it's a little bit more about the driving experience of it and more about the capabilities of it. And, you know, really, once again, I think it's really cool to see a modder make the jump from truck tweaks to full-on vehicle mods. I really think that is amazing to see. Let's go ahead and, wow, even with the automatic, in the automatic mode with the off-road gearbox, it gets up and goes. It rockets off the line. The only thing is, due to the tire types, it has, like, no grip on pavement whatsoever, so you do have to be aware of that when you're flooring it, but you could, like, go around the sign. That'd be great. All right, we're gonna see how it does through here. 3, 2, 1, go! Wow, yeah, it was definitely meant to be driven in automatic mode. Ninja winch, it's fine. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It is completely 100% fine. All right, let's see if we can make a run up the... Whoa! Let's see if we can make a run up that hill. And I'm going to actually neutral drop it this time. Get the revs up and dump the clutch. Bump it a couple times. Yo! That's legit. That absolutely ripped up the hill climb test. And now, since we are obviously, you know, in the testing grounds and we have dev tools available, we're going to go ahead and swap over to the MTs, and we're going to switch to the... Those are Hummer H2 wheels. What? Whoa! Whoa! I was not expecting that. I was gonna go back to the weld bead locks, which I have here, but I was not expecting Hummer wheels to be an option, like, at all. So we're actually gonna go ahead and go for the crawling obstacle, which I don't really do on this map very often, but I definitely think that because of the unique features of this truck, I really want to see what it's like through there. Doing it in low plus. Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't even care. It really does not even care. It's like, oh, there were rocks there? Didn't notice them. Like, literally, you almost don't even notice the changeover between dirt and rocks in this truck. The tire grip is tremendous. All right, now that we're back down the hill again, and we're right about to go into the mud pit, we're gonna swap back over to the full-on mud tires, and I'm gonna switch to the, not those. Yes, the Weld Racing bead locks once again. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, actually, no, we're completely fine in terms of damage. We are undamaged entirely. And let's see how she does. High range is definitely not that fast. High range is like the equivalent to second gear. Normally in a 4-speed, it would be more the equivalent to third gear. But in this thing, it's more the equivalent to second gear. That's fourth. Ripping. Going back to first. Wow, just one tap of the clutch goes right back to first, and it's all good. Dang, that's a really impressive performance through there. Now, I will sink it if I take it in here in terms of, well, I'll hydrolock the engine, but it will be able to go around the outside of the pond. I mean, even if it can only go around the outskirts of the pond, that's huge. Gets a little bit of suspension damage pretty quick, though. Yeah, to go through this stuff, I mean, this mud is really, really, really bad. Like, it's super gnarly. And you kind of have to be in standard low for this. But, I mean, once again, look how incredibly deep it is. It is almost completely and entirely swallowing up these tires. It's just that crazy. It's that ridiculous in terms of how much mud there actually is out here. But let's see if we can make it to the other side, which I'm sure we can. And then after that, we're going to head over to the dips obstacle and see how it does over there. And I also really want to rip this thing through that back trail to see how it responds to a variety of scenarios, including fallen trees, but also on and off different levels of mud and stuff like that. It's so much faster in automatic mode than in any other gearbox selection. Come on. Oh, I was trying to go into interior view. I guess there isn't one yet. I was literally like tapping my right stick to be like, hey, interior view. And the truck was like, hey, don't have that yet. But once again, you know, it's a work in progress, and I'm sure it will get updated over time, you know, as time goes on. Now, this should be a breeze. This should be an absolute breeze for this thing. Well, I actually need to slow it down, because doing this in automatic, yeah, I would break everything. The suspension is a little fragile in terms of how, you know, how quickly it'll take on damage, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and actually you could look at that as being a little bit more realistic. But once again, it all depends on how you prefer to play the game. But with a truck like this, I would kind of like it to have more allowable suspension damage, but that's just me and my personal playstyle. So let's make a run down here to this back trail. I'm going to see if this thing will just rip through here. Let me go ahead and swap out this weather real quick. All right, 3, 2, 1. Dump the clutch. Actually tried to pick the front wheels up there, or at least one of them. That torque, though. I haven't lifted yet, by the way. I'm going to try to do this whole thing without lifting. Every once in a while, I'm just going to bump the clutch to see if it wants to change gears. Pretty dang good. Like, it's not so fast that it's uncontrollable, but it's also fast enough that it's a blast to drive if you want to rip through a back trail like this. Absolutely. Whoa! That was sketchy. I was, like, really close to a flip right there. Try to not have that be a thing. I wonder if it'll go right up these rocks. It's already gone farther than I thought it was going to go. That's for dang sure. Oh my god. Whoa! The balance of it Wow! What? Whoa! Well, that surprised the heck out of me. Holy smokes! Oh no! Oh, that's where it... Yep. Well, we definitely found its limits, but I'll tell you, even up to that point, it's very, very balanced. Very balanced. I'm sure that if we had a slightly altered line, we could make our way up that hill, but even so, like, the performance it just showed us was properly good, like, really tremendous. All right, oh, geez, oh, geez. How about we, like, don't flip over again? Really? Really? If you could, like, not? And say you did... Oh, my God. All right, never mind. Yep, I will end up staying at that mountain for, like, an hour trying to make it do that line, so never mind. Ooh, you gotta be careful there because it will damage itself really badly on the little saplings and shrubs. It's just kind of one of those realities of a lot of the vehicles in this game. Oh, boy. How far is it gonna jump up this hill? Probably not all that far. Yeah, and actually, not all four wheels even left the ground. Easy. Now, y'all all know what time it is right now. It's bridge jump time, and I am very excited to see what this thing is actually capable of when it goes off the bridge jump. But I gotta say, looking at it right here, I'm, like, every time I look at it, I'm continually impressed by, frankly, how good this thing looks. It's a really, really pleasing truck to look at, and I don't know why, but it's just, I think it's that, you know, the rawness of it. I think it's that purpose-built factor of it, and I really don't think there's anything about this truck that I don't like in terms of the way it looks, you know? It's also really fun to drive. Like, mad props to Glitchworks and how this thing drives. It drives so well. Let's throw the highway box in there just to make sure we have full potential. Because that's going to make it, what, a 5-speed? A 6-speed, all right. Oh my God. Go! Wow. Slammed right into the barrels and 0 damage whatsoever. That's a rig. Like, that's a proper freaking rig right there. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.